Imagine this. You're sipping on your favorite grape-flavored Prime, enjoying some sweet hydration. Suddenly, headlines scream about high levels of forever chemicals in your drink. Claims of the drink containing chemicals that stick around in your body that might even increase your risk of cancer are all over the news. Headlines of Logan Paul, the man behind Prime, embroiled in a class action lawsuit, accused of selling a product that could be harmful. With independent tests showing worrying results and the Environmental Protection Agency setting stricter guidelines, we're left wondering, is this the end of Prime? Logan Paul is this larger-than-life internet personality who shot to fame on Vine back in the day. Remember Vine? Those 6-second videos that had everyone hooked? Logan was one of the kings of that platform. He then transitioned smoothly to YouTube, where he became a major vlogger, racking up millions of subscribers with his high-energy, often outrageous content. But man, it hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows for Logan. He's been through some serious controversies. The most infamous one was in 2017, when he posted a video showing a dead body in Aokigahara Forest, which is known as the Suicide Forest. That video caused a massive backlash, with people accusing him of being insensitive and disrespectful. Logan apologized, but the damage was done, and it took a while for his reputation to recover. Since then, Logan has tried to reinvent himself. He's dabbled in boxing, going up against fellow YouTuber KSI, and even stepping into the ring with Floyd Mayweather. Talk about guts, right? He's also launched a podcast called Impulsive, where he chats with all sorts of interesting guests. Love him or hate him, Logan knows how to stay in the spotlight. Now, let's talk about Prime. Prime is Logan Paul's foray into the beverage market, and it's pretty fascinating. He co-founded Prime with another internet sensation, KSI, which is a wild turn of events, considering these guys were once fierce boxing rivals. They buried the hatchet and teamed up to create this hydration drink. Prime is marketed as a sports drink packed with electrolytes and vitamins, designed to keep you hydrated and energized. The branding is slick, the flavors are bold, and the marketing is on point. They've got flavors like grape, blue raspberry, and tropical punch, making it a hit among the younger crowd, especially those who follow Logan and KSI. Back in August of 2023, a law firm decided to take on a case for a woman in California who found something pretty alarming in her grape-flavored Prime drink. She had it tested and discovered it contained high levels of polyfluoroalkyl substances, or PFAs for short. These are often called forever chemicals because they don't break down easily and can stick around in your body for a long time. Now, this woman didn't just stop at getting her drink tested. She went full throttle and filed a class action lawsuit against Prime. If you're wondering what a class action lawsuit is, it's basically a way to combine a bunch of similar individual complaints into one big case. It's like rounding up everyone who's had the same issue with Prime and making a stronger case together. The goal? To hold Prime accountable and possibly get some compensation for anyone affected. The plaintiff, this California woman, had some pretty strong claims. She said that if Prime had been honest about the presence of PFAs in their drinks, she and others like her would never have bought them in the first place. She's accusing Prime of causing physical damage and economic harm. That's legal speak for saying that drinking Prime has potentially harmed her health and wallet. So, what's the big deal with PFAs? Well, these chemicals can be nasty. They've been linked to increased cancer risk, developmental delays in children, and even issues with fertility. They're used in a ton of products because they make things resistant to heat, oil, stains, grease, and water. Thick non-stick pans, pizza boxes, and even some clothes. The woman's lawsuit is based on the idea that Prime's grape flavor contains these harmful chemicals at levels that are just not acceptable. And she's not alone in this fight either. The class action lawsuit means anyone who's bought and consumed the grape-flavored Prime and feels they've been misled or harmed can join in. PFAs are a group of man-made chemicals that have been around since the 1940s. These chemicals were first introduced when the non-stick coating Teflon was invented. Remember those commercials where nothing sticks to the pan? That's Teflon doing its magic, and PFAs are a big part of that magic trick. PFAs are like the Swiss Army knife of chemicals. They're used to make products resistant to heat, water, grease, and stains. That's why you find them in non-stick cookware, waterproof clothing, stain-resistant fabrics, and even some food packaging. Basically, if something is designed to resist sticking or staining, there's a good chance it has PFAs in it. Now, here's where things get a bit scary. While PFAs are great for making your life more convenient, they come with some serious health risks. These chemicals are often called forever chemicals because they don't break down easily. Once they get into your body, they tend to stay there for a long time. Research has shown that exposure to PFAs can lead to a bunch of health issues. One of the biggest concerns is an increased risk of cancer. Studies have linked PFAs to several types of cancer, including kidney and testicular cancer. But that's not all. PFAs can also cause developmental delays in children, affect the immune system, and even mess with your ability to have children. And here's the kicker: PFAs are everywhere. I'm talking about your kitchen, your closet, your car, and probably even your bed. It's like they're hiding in plain sight, and avoiding them completely is almost impossible. Think about it this way. Every time you eat popcorn from a microwave bag, some PFAs might be leaching into your snack. That non-stick pan you love, it might be releasing PFAs into your food every time you cook. And those stain-resistant carpets? Yep, you guessed it, PFAs. Logan, being the savvy internet personality he is, took to his favorite platform, YouTube, to address the situation. In his videos, he's pretty straightforward about it. He starts by acknowledging the claims about PFAs in Prime's grape flavor, but quickly moves to defend his product. Logan explains that the allegations are primarily about the plastic bottles that Prime uses. He emphasizes that these bottles are made by the same manufacturers who produce bottles for other major beverage companies. According to him, these manufacturers adhere to all the necessary guidelines and safety practices set by the Food and Drug Administration. Essentially, he's saying, hey, if our bottles are problematic, then so are everyone else's. So where exactly are these PFAs coming from? Logan points out that the lawsuit mentions PFAs in the plastic bottles, not necessarily in the drink itself. This is an important distinction because PFAs are commonly found in various types of plastics. Logan's defense hinges on the idea that if the bottles are the issue, it's not something unique to Prime. But here's the twist. Studies show that while plastic bottles can contain PFAs, they're not typically a significant source of these chemicals in the liquids they hold. This means that even if the bottles have PFAs, the amount that might seep into the drink is likely very small. To get to the bottom of things, independent third-party testing was conducted on Prime's grape flavor. This testing revealed that the drink contained 0.06 parts per trillion of PFAs. Now, 0.06 ppt might sound tiny, and it is, but when it comes to these chemicals, even small amounts can raise concerns. The lawsuit claims that these levels are unacceptably high, suggesting that they could pose health risks to consumers. This is where things get a bit tricky, because the science of PFAs is still evolving, and what we consider safe can vary depending on new research and guidelines. To make sense of this, let's talk about the Environmental Protection Agency and their guidelines on PFAs. The EPA has set health advisory levels for PFAs in drinking water, aiming to protect public health from these persistent chemicals. As of now, the EPA's advisory level for PFOA and PFOS, two common types of PFAs, is set at 0.004 parts per trillion for each in drinking water. This is an incredibly low threshold, reflecting how cautious the agency is about these substances. However, the EPA also mentions that detection methods for PFAs are reliable down to about 1.1 ppt. Anything below that can be considered within the bounds of reasonable accuracy, meaning that measurements lower than 1.1 ppt are tricky to confirm with high confidence. In the end, this situation with Prime and PFAs is a wake-up call about the importance of ethical practices and transparency in scientific research and product manufacturing. As consumers, we need to be vigilant and demand more from the brands we support. It's a reminder that we should never blindly trust, but always seek out the truth, especially when our health is on the line. Is this the end of Prime, or will they bounce back stronger? And more importantly, would you still drink Grape Prime after all this? So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.